Okay, we are in part 4 of our Holy Week series. This is the final installment. We are in Luke 19. We are asking the question with this series, whose kingdom are we actually promoting and following? And the reason is because in Luke 19:41, Jesus says, "Now when Jesus approached and saw the city, he wept over it, saying, 'If you had only known on this day, even you, the things that make for peace.'" What is he saying? The things that make my kingdom prosper. But now they are hidden from your eyes. How interesting that when Jesus comes and we choose not to recognize him and not to align ourselves with his kingdom, we just get blinder and blinder. We just get blinder and blinder. We can't even see. This is why he's weeping. Okay, so the very next thing that happens is the cleansing of the temple. So I am in Luke 19:45. It says, "Then Jesus entered the temple courts and began to drive out those who were selling things there." Let me just stop right there for a second and remind you that Jesus does not like people hiding behind his name in his house, using his presence as a cover for criminal activity and for elevating themselves. He goes on to say, "It is written, 'My house will be a house of prayer,' but you have turned it into a den of robbers." A den of robbers. My notes here in this New English translation, there's a study note here. Jesus is quoting from Jeremiah 7:11 from the Old Testament. And it says, the meaning of Jesus' statement about making the temple courts a den of robbers probably operates here on two levels. This is going to be real interesting to us. It says, not only were the religious leaders robbing the people financially, but because of this, they had also robbed them spiritually by stealing from them the opportunity to come to know God genuinely. If you have seen any of my other videos about how I believe Trump is an obstacle to the true gospel, this is what I'm talking about. When we align ourselves with an actual criminal and felon and predator, and then we go out and try to give away the true gospel when we are linked arm in arm with a liar, people have no reason to believe that we carry the truth. We can't carry both of these kingdoms at the same time. It's impossible. It is impossible. We, as children of God, cannot carry the kingdom of God, which he has entrusted to us. He has entrusted us with his very kingdom presence. We can't carry it out into the world and offer it to people with any amount of integrity and dignity and truth, and carry the kingdom of mammon that Trump is connected to, that white Christian nationalists have hitched their wagon to at the same time. We cannot carry both kingdoms at the same time. We have to, if you're watching this video, this is the day you choose. This is the day you choose which kingdom you want to be a part of. One kingdom is very humble. There's a kindness to it. There's a peace to it. There's a gentleness to it. There's a love to it. But you're not guaranteed affluence with this kingdom. If you choose the other one, you'll probably feel very powerful. You'll probably feel very politically powerful right now. Congratulations. It's the wrong kingdom. It's the wrong kingdom. It is not going to bring you what you think it is going to bring you. And that is why I am trying to warn people. It is the wrong kingdom. So white Christian nationalists who have hitched their wagon to Donald Trump, all they are doing is showing us that they are so attracted to power, so attracted to wealth, so attracted to influence, that they don't really understand how the kingdom of God works and how he is going to bring heaven to earth, because he wants to. He wants to bring it through his people, but it's not going to come this way. This is not his strategy. And so they have either sat in church their whole lives and not actually had an encounter with God, or they have been so blinded by this promise of political power, which I just read you some scriptures that testify that this mammon, this kingdom, this influence, it's a blinding. It has a blinding force to it. And it talks about that in 1 Timothy too. I read that to you in 1 Timothy. So they've been blinded, or they have possibly associated with Jesus, but they don't trust Jesus to bring about his kingdom his way. So they've taken the reins with a con man and a felon who has actually incited people to commit violence and bloodshed on his behalf based on a lie. And they think that God's kingdom is going to work through this alliance. And God is weeping. He's weeping. Not only that, I love the emotion that Jesus is showing us in these passages, because everybody's celebrating. He weeps over Jerusalem, and then he goes in the temple and cleans it out. He cleans it out. These two events are connected. So I believe that he's not done cleaning out what needs to be scrubbed out of the church, the white evangelical church in America. And this is why we are seeing so many prominent pastors and leaders who have held influence over us for so many years. We are seeing them cleansed out of his temple and out of their places of influence, because he is cleaning out his temple, and he is showing people, I am not going to work through people who have who have used my temple as a hideout to prey on people, and who have idolized things that I told you to stay away from. Okay, so where the Christian nationalists got this idea that we are supposed to hitch our wagon to money and be politically dominant, and force people into submission to what we think is the most morally righteous way, I don't understand where they have gotten this, because it's not actually scriptural. So they are rejecting Christ in favor of Trump. They are rejecting Christ's presence. They are rejecting Christ's teachings and the way, look at how Christ told us to treat immigrants. They are rejecting his actual words to hitch their wagon to Donald Trump. They aren't preaching good news to anyone except to power-hungry billionaires. They are preaching and implementing a reign of terror, chaos, bullying, and belittling, and that is because they have now become representatives of the wrong kingdom. This is not the kingdom that Jesus wants us to be carrying. I'm asking you today to choose which God you're going to serve.